Good morning. Robert Davis back here with you. It's June 12th, Sunday, about 5:30 in the morning. And I want to give a shout out to all my Delphi developer friends out there. It's really nice having you here. This morning we're going to do a tutorial that I had mentioned recently on how to create mailing labels in Delphi with fast reports. So let's go ahead and get started. Call up Delphi, and we use this project that we've been working on. Here you see it, and what we're going to do is use these fields here in the demographics table, the table 1. So in order to build mailing labels, what you do is you drop a FRX report on your main form and an FRX DB dataset on your main form. And the only thing you have to do is tell it what dataset or data source, either one. And in our case, it would be ABS Table 1, which is these demographic fields that you see. And then in order to design your mailing labels, you double click on FRX Report 1 and call up your your report designer. And the way we started out here is you right click on the form. I think you can double click too, yeah. You can double click or right click on the form. And the defaults are fine for me on the page setup, paper setup. But on the other options, what you want to do is change this to 3 columns. And by default, it has 0 columns, and this is what it would normally look like. It would stretch across the page. The master data band would stretch across the page. But we'll double click again, go back, and you see we set this. If you want 2 columns, you see it splits it in half. Right click edit, and we'll make this 3 columns for mailing labels here. I like to use the standard Avery mailing labels. And so then we went over here and dropped a master data band onto the report form. And that means that this layout will repeat for every record in the table. If you don't put a master data band, you're just going to get like 1 record per page. That's not what you want. So after we put the master data band on there, we put they're text items. This little guy right here, text object, and this is what we put in them. In brackets, you put, for instance, L name, comma, space, first name, space, middle name. And you click OK. For line 2 and possibly line 3, we use this inline if statement. In brackets again, let me stretch this out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. We say the inline if address 2 equals blank, just print address 1, comma, else print address 1, carriage return line feed space for an indentation, and then address 2. And the fields are automatically trimmed. And then for the last line, the 3rd or 4th line, we just concatenate in brackets city, comma, space, state, space, zip. And there we go. And that's really all there is to laying out your report. Make sure you leave enough room in this layout for a 4th line if address 2 is populated. Okay, and let's preview that. Now this is going to take a few seconds because this doesn't disable controls like we do in code for the runtime at design time. So we'll close that. You see the layout. You can go to the last record. Check it out. There's 1008 records in this table. Close that. We'll close that now. Let's watch this at runtime. We'll run it. Reports, mailing labels, bang, it's done. See the difference between design time and runtime? This is runtime. Close it. 1.397 or 1.4 seconds to build the whole report of 1008 records for mailing labels. And the way we do that in code, I think the last tutorial I mentioned about doing this, the way we do that in code is we, on the ABS table 1, we set disable controls so that it's not fumbling around trying to do UI stuff when it shows a report. We have show report and the parameter of true, which means clear any other reports first, and then after the report's finished being built, we enable controls again. And I had this long format set to include milliseconds so I could calculate the duration and then set it back to just hours, minutes, and seconds, no milliseconds. So that's how you can really speed up your database. Now, if you disable this, if you disable controls, we'll just comment that out. We don't have to worry about enable controls. And then we'll run it. And you'll see it'll take just as long as it did at design time to build a report. And you see up here the counter. It's taken quite a long time. There we go. It's done. Look at that. 18.5 seconds compared to this. Bang, it's done. 1.449 or 1.5 seconds. There you have it. That's a mailing label simplified for you. You can do other columnar formats for other needs, but that's how you get mailing labels done. And that's it. So thanks for spending your time with me. Again, I'm Robert Davis, and I hope you have a great new week, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Okay, bye.